The refuge of words. Raul never imagined that a simple refuge inside a bookstore could change his life forever. He was a frustrated writer, lost in words that never managed to escape his mind and turn into stories. The bookstore, small and filled with forgotten tales, was the only place where he still felt at home. Despite the loneliness that consumed him, there, among piles of dusty books, he met Ana, a young woman with dreams bigger than her reality and an inexplicable passion for everything ever written. With her contagious energy, Ana led him to an old journal, its yellowed pages seeming to carry not just words, but the secrets of a love lost in time. But what neither Raul nor Ana knew was that those words, so innocent at first glance, held a darker power than they ever imagined. Each sentence seemed to stir their emotions in strange ways, as if the words had a life of their own, trying to guide them toward a fate they couldn't control. As Raul and Ana began to investigate the journal's owner, what once seemed like a simple love story turned into something far more complex and dangerous. They found themselves increasingly entangled in a web that not only connected them to the past, but also threatened them in ways they could never have foreseen. What would they uncover about the diary's author, and what does he still want from Ana and Raul? A journey of discoveries, mysteries, and deep emotions awaited them, where written words could become more real than they ever imagined. Chapter 1. The Meeting of Words. Raul wandered through the bookstore as he always did, not really sure what he was looking for. The small shop was the only place where he still felt free, even though the shelves were filled with books he had never managed to finish writing. Each one felt like a reflection of the words he had never dared to put on paper. His frustration grew with each passing day, and he knew he was drifting further and further from his dream of becoming a real writer. That's when he saw her, Ana, with her curious eyes and a kind of energy that seemed to light up the room. She was searching for something, though she didn't know exactly what. Raul had never been good with words when it came to talking to people, but when Ana came closer, something inside him pushed him to speak. "I see you here almost every day," he said, trying to sound casual. Ana smiled. It was a genuine, unguarded smile, and that alone was enough to make Raul feel at ease. They started talking about books, about dreams, and about words they had never dared to say out loud. Soon, Ana invited him to take a look at an old journal she had found in the store, something she believed was more than just an old relic. The journal was tucked away between other worn-out books, its leather cover cracked with age, the title almost faded beyond recognition. When Raul opened it, something strange happened. The words on the first page began to glow softly, as if they were shifting right before his eyes. "This is impossible," Raul whispered, his heart racing. Ana looked at him with curious eyes. It was as if she knew more than she was letting on. She urged him to keep reading, and as he flipped through the pages, the story of a lost love began to unfold. But something felt off, something Raul couldn't quite grasp. The journal seemed to be speaking directly to him and Ana, and the words themselves appeared to change meaning with each reading. He felt as though he was being pulled into the story, as if the words were alive. "Who wrote this?" Raul asked, but Ana had no answer. They decided to investigate, and it wasn't long before they began to realize that the journal was not just a fragment of the past, but something that tied them to a far deeper, more dangerous secret. Chapter 2. The Mystery of the Words. Raul and Ana began investigating the story behind the journal and its author. They discovered that the owner, a man named Lucas, had mysteriously disappeared many years ago, but what seemed at first to be just a tale of love and loss soon turned into something much darker. The journal contained vivid details about an impossible love, but the most disturbing part were the hidden messages, messages that seemed to be aimed directly at Ana and Raul. Each word felt like it was writing their fate, as if it had the power to alter their lives in irreversible ways. Raul grew increasingly uneasy, like he was being watched, as if someone or something was observing their every move. Ana, on the other hand, was becoming more and more captivated. She felt an unexplainable connection to the words, and at times she even thought she could hear Lucas's voice whispering in her mind. She wasn't sure if it was just her imagination or if the journal truly held some kind of power. As they dug deeper into the story, Raul and Ana discovered that the journal was tied to an ancient legend, one that spoke of the power of words and how they could shape reality itself. But there was one condition. Once the words were written, they could never be erased. With every new page Raul turned, he felt the pressure of an invisible force closing in. He could no longer tell what was real and what was fiction. The words were beginning to take control of them, and he knew that something much greater and far more dangerous was about to be revealed. Chapter 3. The Past That Won't Fade. As the mystery of the journal deepened, Raul and Ana felt as if they were losing control over their own destinies. What once seemed to be a simple love story from an unknown author had become something far more intricate and unsettling. The deeper they dove into the journal's pages, the more entangled they became in the story of Lucas and the woman he loved, Clara. Raul began to realize that the words didn't just echo in his mind, they were shaping his very choices. He felt a direct connection to the lost author, as though his own failures and frustrations were being written down, one page at a time. Ana, on the other hand, was drifting further away, lost in the journal's words, as if she were abandoning her own reality to live inside the story. One night, as Raul read another page, he stumbled upon a passage that sent a chill down his spine. The words read, "When the heart breaks, the words of the past will claim your soul." In that moment, he realized the journal wasn't just retelling a story. It was preparing to fulfill the prophecy it carried within. Over time, Raul noticed that the journal's words were actually coming true. His feelings of frustration and loneliness were intensifying, and he could no longer separate fiction from reality. The story of Lucas and Clara, once a distant tale, was now unfolding right before his eyes. Ana, lost in her own insecurities, began to question the nature of the journal. She, too, felt as if something beyond her comprehension was pulling her in. While reading, she sensed a strange presence, one that grew stronger each day, as if someone was watching her. The connection between the three, Raul, Ana, and the mysterious author, felt inevitable, and the truth behind the journal was on the verge of being exposed. But what Raul and Ana didn't know was that the real mystery was still ahead. Lucas, the author, wasn't lost to the past. He was still very much present, and his search for something or someone was about to lead them toward a fate far more dangerous and uncertain than they ever imagined. Chapter 4. The Encounter with the Author. Raul and Ana had now reached a point of no return. The diary, which once seemed like an innocent curiosity, now consumed them. They could no longer stop reading, as if the words had become part of their very essence. They knew something was about to happen, something that would forever connect them to the past and to the author of the diary. One night, Raul had a disturbing nightmare. He found himself in an old office, with walls covered in books and papers, and in front of him stood Lucas himself. The author, with an intense and sorrowful gaze, said, "The words I write are more than stories. They are my memories, my emotions, and now they are yours." Raul woke up in shock, drenched in sweat, but a part of his mind knew he had to find out what came next. Ana, equally affected by the diary, had a vision. She saw Lucas and Clara living a love story that transcended time. But in the background of the vision, there was a shadow, something that threatened to destroy everything around them. The message was clear. The diary was not just about a lost love, but a pact that could ruin everything she and Raul had built so far. Their search for the author led them to an old address where they finally found Lucas. He was older now, but his eyes still carried the same intensity as the words written in the diary. Lucas revealed that by writing his love story, he had sealed a fate that now linked them all together. The diary was not just a relic of the past, it was a convergence point between reality and imagination. Lucas explained that by writing about his lost love, he had created an inexplicable connection with those who read his words. He had used them to find redemption, and now he wanted Raul and Ana to make a decision, continue the story and complete the cycle, or destroy it forever. It was a difficult choice. They could complete the cycle, but that would mean their lives and emotions would forever be intertwined with the past. Or they could destroy the diary, which would also mean losing the chance to truly understand the essence of the love it held. With heavy hearts, Raul and Ana decided to destroy the diary. But at the last moment, Lucas smiled. The story never dies. The words always remain. Enjoyed this story? Then subscribe to the Golden Words channel so you won't miss any others. Every day, we bring you touching and emotional stories. Leave a comment with the city and country you're listening from. Let's spread these stories worldwide.